We'll start off laying down, so come on down to your back. Okay, I like to start off with a little bit of rest, just to let your body kind of let go, unclench from any tension you might unintentionally be holding. So close your eyes. Take deep breaths in and out and try to expand your rib cage as much as you can with the inhales, and then contract it as much as you can with the exhales. And use this big breath to be very relaxing. Use it to create extra space. And then also you can use your breath as a tool to just ground yourself in the moment. Something that is nice for us to practice. Practice the art of just noticing the tiny details of what is happening right now, all around you. And also, of course, in your body as well, in your mind. Notice all of that. Take it all in. Continue your big breath in. Moving your rib cage a lot, your big exhales. Let's expand the belly as well too. So add your belly. With your next inhale, you're expanding your rib cage. You're also puffing your belly out to the biggest you can make it. I call it a Buddha belly. And with your exhale, wrap everything inward. Big exhale, squeeze your belly muscles inward towards your spine, compress your rib cage. And we'll take a few more deep breaths like that. Inhale, big balloon. Exhale, tiny, squeezing into a neutron star. I like to think of getting infinitely big and then infinitely dense. So what's happening right now as you continue to breathe long and slow, we're just allowing your body to relax. We're giving your central nervous system a reset. We're hitting that reset button here. So keep your eyes closed, keep breathing. We're also warming all the tissues between your hips and your shoulders. So we're gently using and warming your torso. Your organs are getting a great massage. How about one final big epic breath in, and let's see if we could pause at the top of the breath and hold it and sip in a little bit more. Here goes. I'm going to take a little more. And a little more, and a little more. Now hold it for 3, 2, and 1. Now see if you could exhale completely. Keep going when you think you're done. Hold it at the bottom of the exhale. And then see if you could even exhale out a little bit more. Here's a little more, a little more. Now hold for 3, 2, and 1. Release that breath pattern and just allow your breath to come back to something more natural and sustainable. Let's begin to move, my friends, but please always return to your breath when you're moving. Sometimes when we're working and challenging ourselves, maybe just relaxing, it's a tendency to hold your breath. So keep that breath moving as we begin to move. Go ahead and stretch your arms and legs out long like you just woke up and you're feeling great. Reach. Okay, get a really fantastic stretch. Maybe we're reaching out a little bit more through the right and left side, or through the right hand and the right foot. So reach out more through your right side. Notice how it gets a little longer. And then notice the corresponding contraction in your left side. And just take a moment to enjoy this. Maybe stretch the right side out a little more by walking your hands and feet to the left. Okay, make sure you keep your right shoulder and glute touching the ground so that the stretch goes into your side. A few big breaths here, drawing that belly button down toward the ground, feeling that right side stretch. And then bring yourself through center. Start to stretch out the left side. Make it a little longer. Allow the right side to contract. And hold and breathe. Enjoying the left side opening. Make sure here, if you, like me, have a tendency to draw your shoulders up by your ears when you're moving your arms, draw your shoulders away from your ears and plug those arms into your strong shoulder girdle. So plug them in. Keep the neck long. Maybe even lengthen that left side stretch by reaching the hands and feet to the right. The ground, the hip, and the shoulder on the left side, please. Draw the belly button down. One more big breath. Nice stretch. And then let's bring it on in to center. So back out long here. See if you can stretch yourself to be even longer. And then put a little bend in your knees here. Just the slightest bend it can be. And then you draw your belly button down to the ground. So you'll feel that your belly is kind of caving in toward the floor. Your tailbone kind of feels like it wants to point at your toes here, okay? We're pulling those belly muscles strong to keep your low back safe. So keep that low back strong and safe, and then see if it feels good here. We're gonna lift up the right leg, and you can bend it if you want, but just point those right toes up at the sky, and then see if the left hand, that's the opposite hand, is gonna come up. You can reach toward the knee. You can even challenge yourself to slide that hand up toward the foot, but you'll decide what's best for you today. And then go ahead and bring them back to the floor. Let's try the other side. On an exhale, left leg, right arm. How far up do you want to reach? Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, right leg, left arm. Maybe you're lifting your shoulder blades. Let's take a few more side to side. Nice and slow, controlled. Inhaling to the floor, exhaling on the effort. We'll take maybe 3 more on each side. Maybe your shoulders leave the floor, maybe they don't. 2 more. Last one. Now come on up and hold right there. So imagine touching that ankle here, lengthening out through the toes. Maybe you're just touching the knee. Maybe you have your head on the floor. But hold here, kind of contracting your ab muscles, activating that core for 3, 2, and 1. Now switch sides. So whatever side you didn't have up, hold it on up. Hold and breathe however you like. Head down or not. Challenging that core just to wake up for 3, 2, and 1. Let that go. Go ahead and bring the arm and leg back to the floor, and then you can make cactus arms here, bending those elbows to point out to the side. Okay, I like cactus arms because they really open up the chest and the front of the shoulders. Feels nice. So face those palms up, nice right angles in your elbows, and you can stick your shoulder blades really nicely underneath your heart, lifting your rib cage to the ceiling. And then let's bring the feet in close by the hips, and we'll do some bridges. Beginning to wake up your spine a little more, perhaps, and the backs of your legs. So in bridge, step your feet in close by your hips, and remember that your knees are they're going to be the strength of your bridge. So as we begin to go up and down, notice that your knees may try to come apart from each other, and tell yourself that you're going to keep them exactly hip distance. I like to do this by imagining there's a softball between my knees that I'm trying to hold as I move. So see if you might just kind of find that engagement between your knees, that hip distance, softball. Okay, Inhale, lift those hips up. Try to keep those knees pointing forward. And exhale, bring those hips down. Okay, we'll take a few more like that, just moving and breathing. Inhale up. And exhale down. Okay, do your best to control this movement and roll your spine up and down like a snake. Okay, the next time you come up, let's see if we can just hold here. Now you may like cactus arms. I think sometimes it's a nice massage on the backs of the shoulders. You can even kind of move around on it. But make sure you're looking straight up at the sky so that your neck softly arches upward. Maybe you take your hands underneath your hips. You can walk them out as if you're reaching for your toes. And then if that feels comfortable, you might even join your hands under you. You can interlace your fingers. And then think about, no matter where you are, think about using your upper body and your lower body with equal strength to press the floor away, lifting your heart up to the sky. Think of one more big breath here, lifting your whole front body as you strengthen your back. And see if you could come down very slowly and snakily on your exhale, releasing your hands. If you join them, control your snaky spine all the way down. All right. Once your hips land, okay, take a moment. Notice if the glutes, the hamstrings, if your legs and your back feel any strengthening, any warmth from that. I sure do. Your feet are already on the floor. Go ahead and take them away wide from each other. Just walk them out away from each other and start to windshield wiper your knees here. Nice and easy, just side to side. So we woke up the hips, flexors a little bit. Okay, we woke up the front body, we woke up the back body, we woke up the spine. Alright, team. Allow your windshield wipers to come on back to center. And then you can tuck your hands behind your knees. Give yourself a nice squeeze, right? Pulling the knees in towards your chest. And as you pull the knees in towards your chest, see if you could also lift your chest up towards your knees with equal strength. Lengthening and extending that spine, neutralizing your low back. You should feel really nice on your back. Maybe one more breath here. Pulling the knees down, lifting the heart up. Right, as you're ready, we're going to very playfully, okay, maybe kind of silly, rock up and down a few times. Go ahead and rock up to your seat and then roll it down. And we'll do maybe 5 like this. Okay, it's silly. Just erase it. Okay, making it nice and smooth. Nice and slow. And then next time you come up, see if you could balance. You can start with your tippy toes on the floor. Okay? Pull those shoulders down your back. So you're thinking of lifting your heart up and open. And then lean back just enough that you feel your abs kicking in. So your core is engaging here, and it's just enough to engage the core. It doesn't have to be crazy amount of effort here. And then see if you could let go and just reach forward past your knees and hold and breathe. So at any time you can keep your feet down, you can pick your feet up, you have the option. And maybe you play with when you want your feet up, when you want your feet down. But see if you could, even if you need to grab your knees, see if you could roll just your low back onto the floor. Okay, keeping the head and shoulders up. So just the low back rolls down. Now use your exhale for this nice hard part. With your exhale, see if you could roll it up. Okay, your feet might come up, your feet might stay down, it's fine. We're gonna inhale to roll it back again. Let's try to follow the breath here. Exhale, roll it up. Let's see if we could do this 10 times. A nice little challenge. Inhale. And exhale. Now you can grab your knees to do this. Maybe you go down part of the way. And I'm showing you what that could look like. Okay, I think this is number 5. Let's keep it up. I'm showing you another modification here with hands behind me. Here's number 6. Okay, finding that core challenge, waking it up. Here's number 7. Now we can do this. Here's number 8. We've got 2 more. Number 9. Nice and smooth. Use that breath. Inhale for number 10. Now let's see if we could hold in this half boat. You can drop your elbows and your knees if you need to, or your elbows and your feet at any time. But we're just gonna hold maybe for 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your hands behind your knees. Rock it on up to a seat. Whew, and let it go. All right, that was a nice challenge. I'm feeling really warm in the core, okay, and that's a really safe place for us to begin to move a little more. So let's flip it over to hands and knees. Great. Hands and knees, we can be really strong in this posture, very stable. So spread your fingers wide. Get those hands to show a lot of mat between the fingers. And push the floor down actively. So you're actively lifting your belly up like a bridge. Think of being strong, lifting the low back nice and high. And we'll get the right leg out behind. Go ahead and send it out. And then rock that right hip under. Just kind of give it a little tuck so that if you imagine someone wanted to set something on your back right now, that it would stay because your back is so flat. Okay, the right and left hip are level. Let's see if we can really ground into that right hand. Okay, really stable in that right arm, and maybe just come up on the left fingertips. Okay, still lifting away from the floor. Maybe the left arm reaches forward. Hold and breathe right here in your bird dog position. So again, keep that lifting belly away from the floor. But you're also using your strong back body to lift this heavy arm and leg. Keep breathing. Pushing down and lifting up at the same time. Okay, so here comes a little bit more movement. Reaching out long, take one more big breath in here. And with your exhale, right knee into your nose. Let's curl that that left elbow into. See if you could even get the nose to touch. Okay, inhale, reach. Back to that long shape. And exhale, crunch it in again. Pull the knee and the elbow in. Let's do 5 of these. Here's 3 on the inhale. And exhale, pull it in. Here's number 4. Reach. And pull it in. Nice breath. Inhale, reach. And exhale, pull it in. Now hold it right here. I'm going to challenge you to hold it. So if you need to drop your left hand, you can do that and make it a little easier. If you want more challenge, I'm going to give you the spicy option, and that would be try bending your grounded knee. That's your left knee. You can bend that left knee. Try pointing the toe up to the ceiling. It's a balance challenge. Okay, wherever you are, take one more breath. Woo! And then let it go. Left hand down, right knee down, tuck your toes here and sit back for a moment. That was a lot on the wrists, so go ahead and stretch them out. Flip those palms up. Roll the top of your hand. Okay, this should feel really good, and our wrists really need it. Goodness knows they need it. So get in there off all the little spots that might be bugging you that you didn't even know about. And then make sure you flip the palm down and roll a couple times, kind of peeling that palm open. Gotta take care of these little joints. All right. So, after this lovely wrist stretch, we're going back to do the other side. So find your hands in knee position again. This time, we're grounding into the left hand, so spread those fingers wide. Okay, lift your belly, lift your heart. You're like a strong bridge. And then let's get the left leg out behind. Tuck the left hip under. It is level with the right. The belly is lifting. Maybe the right fingertips support you, or maybe you reach forward with the right hand here. Hold and breathe. Okay, I like to spend a moment just in this posture, lifting the belly, strengthening to reach that arm and leg away from each other. Okay, nice work just on its own, but let's keep it moving. So inhale, reach out long through the arm and leg, and exhale, pull the knee and elbow in. Pull that nose in there too. Let's do 5. Inhale, reach. Exhale, contract. Use all the strength on the back when you reach, and all the strength on the front when you contract. 2 more. 4. And pull in. Last one. 5. And pull it in. Now we're holding this little contraction here, this little crunch. Now you can stay here. You can make it easier by dropping the right hand, maybe taking a break if you need it. Or you can spice it by bending that right knee and pointing the right toe up. You can balance on the right kneecap. Whew. Surf with gravity here for 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Again, sit back here, take another little wrist stretch. We did the left side wrist a lot, so give it some love. And that'll help us moving forward. Okay. Nice, happy wrist. Make everything better. Okay, from here, you can come on back to your hands and knees, and then tuck your toes, lift those hips up and back. Find a downward facing dog shape, walking out your heels. You can kind of wag your hips, kind of make it a funky down dog where you're moving your shoulders. So I want you to take a moment to move your down dog around a lot, and then play with all the different variations. You can play with your feet by coming up on your tippy toes. Okay, you can roll in the top of your foot. Play with that. And then play with your fingers too. Come up on your fingertips. Or maybe rocking into one hand at a time. So just finding the boundaries and some movement in your shape here. And then as you're ready, go ahead and walk to your hands. We're going to start to move and flow a little bit. Inhale, roll yourself all the way up. Stand up tall. Get that heart up high. Think of pressing down into your heels here. And exhale, drop down into a chair squat. Think of dropping that tailbone, lifting your heart. Inhale, back all the way up. Lift that heart. Exhale here, hinging at your hips. Remember, you can bend your knees, of course. Come all the way down. Let your spine hang down over your knees. And let's just take a moment here. This is our first forward fold of the day. So bend the knees, enjoy it. Let your head shake it off. Okay, so feeling softness in your back of your neck. Softness in the backs of your legs. Okay, and let's keep going. Palms are down on the floor here, so you can bend those knees. Take a big breath in and step back to your plank position. So remember, your plank can have your knees on the floor or not. You can have your knees off the floor too. Either way, your shoulders are over your wrists. Okay? From here, see if you could walk your hands back to your feet. Okay, inhale, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Push down through those heels. Exhale, sit it down into your chair squat. Drop the tailbone, lift the heart. Remember this from before. And inhale all the way up. Same as before. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold it all the way down. Don't spend as much time in this fold. Take a moment. Lift your head. And then as you're ready, palms are down on the floor. Walking forward to your plank. And we'll do it again. Walk to your hands. And fold. Take a big breath in. Roll yourself up. Exhale, sit down into your chair squat. We're going to keep going and flowing just like this. Inhale to stand. Exhale to fold. Let's start to move a little faster. Palms are down. Inhale to your plank. Exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. Fold. Inhale, roll it up. Lift your heart. Exhale, down into your chair squat. Inhale, heart up. Standing, and exhale, hinging at your hips, folding. Palms touch the floor. If you bend your knees, maybe that helps. Inhale, walk it forward to your plank. We're going to do one more round, okay, just like that. Exhale, walk to your hands and fold. Inhale, roll yourself up to standing. Push the floor. Exhale, down into your chair squat. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, fold in half. Palms are down. Inhale to your plank. And exhale, hands walk back to your feet. Okay, last time. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale, drop into your chair squat. Inhale to stand. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale to your plank. And exhale, press yourself back to another downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Notice how it feels. Okay, remember you can bend your knees a lot in down dog, and you can even drop to your knees and take a break. Always take a break if you need one. Okay, see if you could begin to really activate this downward facing dog shape now that we're a little warmer and more mobile. Start to push the floor away with your hands and feet. Really push. Push down. Okay, pull your elbows in toward each other slightly so your neck feels long and soft. And then see if you could lift your kneecaps and drop your heels a little lower. Just really bringing the posture to life. For me, it really changes everything that way. Hope those little cues help you too. Let's keep moving. Inhaling here, pull that right knee up and up, out toward the sky. So right foot up and out toward the sky. So three-leg dog. So in three-leg dog, always try to keep your hips level. Here we are. Take one more big breath in. And exhale. Pull that right knee forward. Drop it next to your right hand. Now we're going to start to move and flow a little bit from here. But before we start to move, I want to talk to you a little bit about your lunge. So just come up on your fingertips and take a moment to really activate your feet against the floor. So both feet push down into the floor. Push, push, push. And then the knees are also drawing in toward each other at the same time. So take a moment there. Right, so as we begin to move through this little flow, remember to keep your legs active. So from here, using that strong right knee, maybe you press on up. Remember, another thing you can do here is you can drop the back knee at any time if you need to take your lunge to a low lunge. So from whatever lunge you're in, we're going to sweep the arms up overhead. Take a big breath in as you reach up. Okay, with your exhale, drop your heart kind of low towards your right knee. Reach those hands back. Inhale, reach the hands up high. Spread open your heart. And then exhale, see if your back knee is up, see if you could drop it close to the floor. Nice. Inhale, pick that knee up. Exhale, drop that heart down in front. Just like we did before. Inhale, sweep your hands up, heart high. Exhale, tap that back knee to the floor. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, back knee up. Exhale, heart down, reach back. Inhale, all hands up. And exhale, drop that back knee all the way to the floor. If it was up, okay, it was down, then you're already down. Drop your hands underneath your shoulders, and we're gonna sink into this lunge for a moment, okay? Press the feet into the floor, maybe waggle your hips around. And then let's rock it back and forth a little bit. Pull the hips back, press them forward. Moving a lot in that right hip, right hamstring, calf, also that left hip flexor. Okay, from here, drop back into that right foot. Okay, back into your lunge. We're going to press down in the left hand, reach up with the right, and hold right here. So big twist, big stretch across the front of your chest, okay? Remember to keep the legs active here. So just a little twist we're going to play around with. Keeping that bottom elbow nice and soft. It's the left elbow. Inhale here, reach that right arm way up over your head. Maybe look at it if it feels okay. With your exhale, reach that right hand under your left. See if you could reach so far as you can. Stretching open the back body, dropping into that right hip. Let's do it again. Big breath in, reaching up. Stretch your whole front open. Big exhale, reach it under that left arm. Reach so far. Again, big breath in, reaching up. Big exhale, reaching under. Nice twist. Okay, reach on up and let's hold here. Back in that twist. Hold and breathe. See if you could activate your legs against the floor and maybe drop the hips a little lower. Really great stretch all across your spine here. Maybe one more breath. Right, go ahead and let it go. Dropping the right hand back underneath your right shoulder. Let's come out the same way we came in. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. Take a big breath in and shoot the right leg up in the sky behind you. Back in a 3-leg dog. See how it feels? Go ahead and drop the right foot. Back in downward facing dog. Walk it out. Ooh, the right leg might be a little softer feeling than the left at this point. That's okay. Always noticing little changes when we move between postures. Let's flow a little bit from here and then we'll do the other side. Inhaling here, move your heart forward, find a little plank. Remember your plank can have your knees down or not. And then exhale, walk to your hands and fold. Inhale here, roll yourself up to standing, push the floor down. Exhale, drop into your chair squat. Remember this, point the knees forward. Now hold here, I'm adding something. With your inhale, reach that right arm out behind you like you wanted to give someone a hug to the side of you. Look back. And then exhale, back to your chair. Drop a little lower. Hold here. We're going to do the other side. Inhale, the left arm reaches back. Look to the side as if to hug someone. Exhale, back to your chair. Drop a little lower. Inhale, all the way up to standing. Whew. And exhale, hinge and fold all the way down. Palms are on the floor here. Inhale, step it back to your plank pose. And exhale, bring it back to a downward facing dog. Come on back. Walk out your heels. Take a moment here. Start to push the floor with your hands and feet. Lifting your belly like a strong bridge. Okay, it's always good to take 5 or 6 breaths in a downward facing dog. Just feeling it, just being in it. But you can always bend your knees and of course take that break on your hands and knees if you need. So here we go, we're going to do the left side. With your inhale, swing your left leg up in the sky. Remember to keep your hips level, please. And exhale here, send your left foot forward. Drop it by your left hand. Take a moment here, come into your lunge with skill. So take some time. Up on your fingertips might give you some more space. Remember to drop the back knee at any time if you just feel like you want it to be more gentle. You can keep the back knee lifted if you want more if you want more work. It's really up to you. Okay, but either way, the feet are pressing against the floor, the legs are active. The knees are slightly pulling in toward each other, so we feel that the lunge is very controlled and we have some core involvement. So, strong legs, here we go, we're gonna start to move. Take a big breath in here, sweep your hands up. Think of lifting your heart up and open to the sky. Okay, exhale here, think of bowing forward. We're gonna reach the hands back, like you're handing something to someone behind you. Okay, inhale, all your hands up in the sky, a crescent lunge. And then with your exhale, drop that back knee to tap the floor with control. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, back knee comes up. Exhale, bow forward and reach back. Challenging yourself in this lunge. Inhale, up. And exhale, tap the back knee down. Let's do it 1 more time. We can do it. Inhale, back knee up, crescent lunge. Exhale, bow forward, reach back. Inhale, back to your crescent lunge. Whew. Exhale, drop the back knee to the floor. Let it fall. Okay, come on down. Drop those hands underneath your shoulders. All right, so take a moment here, kind of rocking, and I like to do side to side a little bit, and then a little front to back movement, moving the hips forward and back. And just kind of noticing how the left leg feels when you just challenged your legs. Should be feeling warm. Okay, and then come forward into the lunge and just hold. Okay, so we're going to continue building warmth and space here. Ground into that right hand under the right shoulder, fingers are spread, and we're reaching up with the left. And hold here. Take a moment in this lunge. Long chest, really pressing the floor down. So here, take 1 more big breath in. And then exhale, reach under that right arm. So this time you're gonna reach so far. You're stretching open all the tissue behind your back. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach up, spread open your front. Exhale, reach under, spread your back. 1 more time like that. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, reach it under. Now I want to do 1 more reach up and just hold it there, enjoying that stretch across the front body. Hold and breathe. Remember to use your bottom arm actively here. Push the floor down, and remember your legs are active too in your lunge. Push down with your feet. Pull in with your knees. One more nice big breath here. And then drop that left hand back underneath your left shoulder. Okay, let's come out the way we came in. Tuck the right toes. Lift the right knee. You're back in a lunge. And with your inhale, let's swing the left leg up into the sky. Send it high. Whew. Nice stretch. And then exhale, drop that left foot to the floor. Back in downward facing dog. So in your downward facing dog, pedal your heels for a moment. Notice any differences. And we'll take that same little flow that we did before. You'll see. With your inhale here, move your heart forward, find a plank. With your exhale, walk to your hands and fold. And bend your knees, hug your legs. Inhale, roll yourself up. Push the floor away from you. Lift your heart. Exhale, down into your chair squat. Hold and breathe. Now we're gonna hold the squat while we twist. Point those knees forward. Inhale, look out to the right, twisting in your chair. Exhale, back to center. Drop a little lower in that chair. Inhale to the left, twisting. Exhale, back to center. Drop a little lower. Inhale all the way up. Lift that heart. And exhale, hinging at your hips all the way down. Take a moment here with your knees really bent. Just hanging your head, okay. Allowing your upper body to really drape over your lower body. And then bend your knees here and come all the way down to a seat. You can straighten your legs out. Just take a little moment just to shake it off. Nice work. Okay, that was some great flowing. We worked a little bit on our shoulder mobility and strength. We worked on a little bit of leg mobility and strength. I think we're doing great. So let's get a little bit more stretchy. From here, you can just bend your right knee and pull your right foot in towards your hips. And I like to call this kind of a half straddle shape because your left leg is out there, your right knee is pointed in the other direction, and you're looking out between your knees. So take yourself some time getting there. Just being here is a stretch for some of us, and that's fine. You can just lean back and just be here. Okay? Do your best to sit up nice and tall. Okay? Grounding in your legs. Remember, even though you're sitting down, you're still active. So your feet are still pressing the floor, and your knees are still trying to pull in toward each other. So keep those legs active. Okay, so we're gonna find a place on the left, by your left leg, to put your left hand. The right arm's gonna come up and over. And you'll start to walk that left hand out to the left, reaching the right hand out to the left as well. So finding a side stretch. Hold and breathe right here. Okay, remember to keep your spine long, keep your shoulders away from your ears.
Just at a point where it's almost too warm now.
And breathe. Okay, maybe finding a little extra space as you drop down into that right hip.
Oh no, it doesn't have little.
Maybe one more big breath here in this nice side stretch. And then go ahead and send that right hand all the way back to the floor on the right. We're gonna get the left hand up here, and then use what you have on the floor. Just lift your hips up away from the floor, just a little or a lot, it's up to you. Stretch out through that left side. Big stretch. Okay, you can lift this left armpit and pull your belly button in. And then as you're ready, come on down. Now let's see if we can move between these two funky, stretchy movements. Ground those left fingertips by your left leg. Right arm up overhead. Remember this? So let's take a big breath in while we do this. Let's exhale, coming back up. Okay. And then inhale, lift your hips as you sweep that left arm up overhead. Let's just try that a few times. It's fine if you kind of mix it up and exhaling back to center. Inhale, reach to the left. Exhale back to center. Inhale, reach to the right. So just find some nice stretchy movement here. Should feel really nice. I'd like to do maybe 2 more on each side. Remember to use your breath to just pause in each movement and take a little time to breathe fully. 1 more on each side. Very nice. Come on back. Once your hips are back on the ground, just pause there. Okay, we're gonna pick up the right knee. Just pick it up, stamp the right foot on the floor, and use both arms to hug that right knee in towards you. Okay, and grounding into that right hip. Super important here. Get extra tall in your spine. Tallest you can possibly be. Okay, and then we'll start to look over the right shoulder. So we're turning this into a twist. And I like to use my right fingertips on the ground behind me to push down and make myself even a little taller. So you try that maybe. Take some breath in this twist. We're just gonna spend time here. So make sure to ground that right hip. If you want to go further into the twist, you can by taking the left elbow outside the right knee. But remember that the deeper you go into a posture, the deeper you need to breathe. So always cultivate that breath and make sure you're breathing well.
And just put it in the doorway and let them pull their flow.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, problem here, get the house full and keep your house down to about 66. They get easy, you don't have to struggle with trying to push it down anyway.
Alright, that feels nice. As you're ready, we're gonna let it go. Bring it back into center. Just push that right knee to the floor here. Just push it back down. See, now we're in a different position though. We're facing out toward the left foot. So if this is a little uncomfortable, go ahead and just lean back on your hands and bend your your left knee a little bit so that it's lifted up off the floor. And then see if it might be easier to sit up tall. But either way, try to sit up tall here, extending the left knee as much or as little as you want. And then drop your fingers out in front of you and just think of walking your fingers out towards your left foot. You want to think of your heart leading the way rather than your head. So pull your shoulders and your head back. Think of moving that heart forward toward the toe. And then just hold and breathe right here. So we don't really have any particular destination in this posture. So just be where you are and make it really nice and comfy. Think of lengthening with your heart moving forward, lengthening that spine, pulling the shoulders back. And then, of course, I'm gonna remind us to activate the legs. Just because we're sitting down doesn't mean the legs are off the clock. We have to push them against the floor gently, and we have to pull the knees in toward each other. For me, that's where the posture really just comes together when we activate the legs. Keep breathing here. Maybe you pop your elbows, maybe you're bending your knee here. Nice stretch for the whole backside of your body, all the way down the left. From here, let's walk it out. Take your time, just coming up and out. You can lean back on your hands here. Take both feet out away from you, and let's do a few windshield wipers here. Some lazy windshield wipers. Notice how your hips and low back feel after all of that. We'll do the other side. Alright, so as you're ready, find a seated position. Now, with your right leg kind of long out to the right and your left knee bent with that left foot tucked in towards your hips. So remember that this could be enough, and you could just lean back on your hands and do your best to sit up nice and tall. And then you're just fine just being here, okay? But if you feel like you want to open up the left side a little bit more, maybe you put a bend in your right knee to make it easier, so feel free to modify those little details. Okay, whatever you have there, you're gonna start walking your right fingers out to the right and getting that left arm up overhead, finding that big side stretch. Hold and breathe right here. Drop that left hip to the floor. Nice breath. Okay, think of expanding in the left side with each breath. Long neck. And you remember to reach just as far as you like, okay? You may stay relatively up high, and just that feels perfect for you today. So please listen to your body. Okay, now take your time coming up and out, getting those left fingers over to the left. Let's try that little supported side plank on this side. So drop the left hand, use what you have on the floor to press up, and get that right arm reaching up and over your head. So big breath here, take a couple breaths, just stretching the right side open. And then we'll see if we can build those two postures into a little flow. So drop your hips back to the floor, come back to the seat. And let's try it out. Inhaling, we're reaching over to the right. Exhaling, coming back up to a seat. Inhaling, we're reaching to the left. Lift the hips. And exhaling back to the seat. Okay, now try it a few more times on each side. It's okay if you mix the movements up. You're moving and you're breathing. Just make it feel nice, whatever it is. Okay, opening up some extra space in that left side body as we stretch it open. And then in the right side. Okay, maybe one more on each side. And next time you come down, pause there. Let's turn this into a twist. So grab the left knee, pick it up, stamp the left foot on the floor, and hug that knee in towards you. Give it a squeeze. Sit up nice and tall here as you smoosh that knee towards your chest. Okay, now you can begin to look over the left shoulder. Turning that twist into something very gentle and subtle, or maybe into something very deep. You'll decide. So maybe you want the left fingers behind you. You can make yourself a little taller. Give an inch or two here. And maybe you go further into the twist with that right elbow outside the left knee. You can kind of play with how deep you want it to be. Wherever you are, breathe deeply. Twists are magical. They detoxify by massaging all of your organs and bringing the lymph and blood out of your torso. They recalibrate and realign your spine and your ribs and the muscles that attend them. They're cooling. And one more big breath, just enjoying this. And let it go. Come on out. All right, let's push the left knee to the floor. Go back to the floor, left knee, please. And now we're looking out at the right leg. So we can fold from here. Same fold we did on the other side. So options, if it's tight in the back of your right leg, you can always bend that right knee. That should allow you to sit up more easily and then just enjoy it more. So please play with that. But either way, walk your fingers out along the right leg until your heart is moving close to your foot, and it doesn't really have to be that close. Remember, there's no destination in this posture. Wherever you are is where you are. And you're just gonna breathe. Think of dropping that tailbone toward the floor and moving that heart forward. I like to think to myself, long spine, inhale. Kick the floor with your legs, exhale. So we've got to activate the legs here just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, but give the floor a little push down with both legs. That's where the posture comes to life. As you're ready, start to walk yourself back up and out of this. And then again, lean back on your hands. Let's take some lazy windshield wipers with the knees. From here, you can roll all the way down to your back. Come on down. Alright, it is time to rest. So close your eyes. Let your breath become very natural again, almost like the breath you breathe when you're sleeping. Let your body be very soft, like it is maybe when you're asleep. I like to imagine the way a baby sleeps. Let your body and breath be as soft as a sleeping baby's. Just take a little time noticing the world around you. Let all the little sounds and sensations in. Let your body relax. The longer you take to rest, the better. Even if you could take a nap, that'd be great. But thanks so much for practicing with me. This is where I will leave you today.